हेलो जय हिंद।
जय हिंद
मैं
मेजर
हूँ
शाह।
मेजर मोहम्मद अली शाह। मेरा बहुत बड़ा आदर और सम्मान की बात है कि मैं अभी एक ऐसी वीर नारी के साथ अभी गुफ्तगू में होऊंगा जो तारुफ की कोई मोहताज नहीं है। इनके हस्बैंड बहादुर मेजर आशीष धोनचक, सेना मेडल पोस्ट ह्यूमस, इन्होंने अपनी जान की परवाह नहीं करी, अपनी जान की बाजी लगा दी, अपनी जान पे खेलकर पूरे मुल्क की हिफाजत करी है। इनको सिना मेडल गैलेंट्री से नवाजा गया। और दिस इज ज्योति धोनचक मैम। बहुत ही बहादुर वीर नारी हैं जो अपनी जान की परवाह नहीं करते हैं, जो अपनी जान गंवा देते हैं। वो तो बहादुर होते ही होते हैं, इसमें तो कोई शक की बात है ही नहीं किसी को भी। उनके परिवार वाले बहुत ज्यादा बहादुर होते हैं। आइए बात करते हैं ऐसी वीर नारी जो कि तारुफ की कोई मोहताज नहीं है। शी इज इंस्पिरेशन फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ soldiers wives, in fact, I would say. Ma'am, jai hind and thank you very much for spending time, ma'am.
थैंक यू सो मच मेजर शाह, थैंक यू सो मच।
मैम, बहुत दुखद वाली बात है और बहुत अफसोस की बात है कि कि आशीष सर अभी हमारे बीच में नहीं है, बट मार्टर्स नेवर डाई, दे बिकम लेजेंड्स एंड लिव इन आवर हार्ट्स एंड माइंड फॉरएवर। वो एक प्रेरणा है, वो एक लेजेंड है। आपकी एक छोटी बच्ची है जो कि 3 साल की है। मैम, I know it must have been very, very difficult to cope with this loss. So, your what is the advice you would like to give to to other army wives, in fact, and because coping with loss is something very, very difficult. We all understand that, ma'am.
मेजर शाह, difficult is too small a word. You know what I'm going through, and my life has completely shattered after my husband passed away. But you cannot help it. That's how life goes. Nothing is in your hands. You cannot control each and everything. Actually, me and Ashish, we had a talk just 1 hour prior to the incident, and nowhere in my mind was I, concerned about him, because he said, "Yeah, we have finished the operation, and we'll be heading backwards to the unit now." So I was like, okay, I was relaxed that okay, the operation has ended and they are heading back. But after 2 to 3 hours, I don't know, I just call it wife instinct or something. I just felt that something is not right. He didn't text me, he didn't call me after that. I kept on texting him. Then I called him on the cell phone. However, he had instructed me before not to call him on the official cell phone, but I did because I just couldn't hold back. And then all my fears came true. I lost him. Yes, I have a 3 year
Very,
old daughter now. So I have double the responsibility. So with double the power, I have to fulfill his role now, and I hope to do all his duties and mine. So let's see how it goes.
I know, ma'am. I can well understand your pain, ma'am. The most difficult job that I did when I was serving in the army was not about facing bullets or being safeguarding the borders or anything. The most difficult job that I did was when I was the adjutant of my Paltan, and I had to call up in someone's family and I had to give them the bad news. It was, I mean, I can't, I don't have words to describe, ma'am. You've been through that pain, the agony yourself. Ma'am, how difficult has life been thereafter? I mean, I know it must have been very, very difficult, and and what can we as a Fauji fraternity do? I mean, many of they are ex-servicemen, Faujis. We stand by our martyrs, our people, our foreign heroes who have given their lives and for their families. What is your recommendation? What can they do to, not just for you but for a lot of other martyrs families as well? How can they aid and help them?
I would only say just keep in touch. Keep in touch with the families. People nowadays are very bad at keeping in touch. So, just one advice: just call, just be there for the family. Losing somebody, losing your husband is one pain, and what comes after, that is one another hurricane that you have to go through. And if you have people around, if you have loved ones around, it becomes a bit bearable. But if not, then life can be really tough.
Ma'am. Ma'am, so are you in? We understand that Major Aashish Dhonchak was a very very brave officer from the Siklai regiment from 15 Siklai, if I'm not mistaken, and he went to the 19 RR, and where he became immortal thereafter. So, are you in touch with both the Paltons, ma'am? Have they been in touch with you?
Yes, they have been in touch. Uh, Pretty much, yeah, you could say that.
Ma'am, ma'am. And ma'am, I there is a quote in the Kohima World War Cemetery when I was posted with the Assam Rifles in Kohima. I read this, which read, "When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today." So, the very fact is, as soldiers, as we are prepared all the time, we are ready to lay down our lives. It's our families who actually later on, who actually go through the tough time. And, since you were in communication with him an hour before the incident, and then your instincts told you something was not right, and you tried reaching out to him. Ma'am, thereafter, who broke the news to you when it was confirmed? And I'm sure you must have been in disbelief at that time. Yes, sir, why?
Actually, nobody really called me up, Major Shah. It just became clear minute by minute. Nobody directly called me up that this sort of something has happened. Just people started gathering in my house, and earlier I told you that I had an instinct that something is not right. And when people started gathering in my house, the instincts became very clear that yeah, something has really happened. That's why people are coming to my house without any reason. And when I confronted them, when I asked them, is he all right? Why are you here? Why are so many people coming here all of a sudden? They were like, no, we're just coming just like that, no particular reason, this and that. Nobody was telling me anything really. So I don't know, at around 9:30 at night, uh, it became clear.
Oh
So
God,
after
oh God,
around 6 to 7 hours, the picture became clear.
oh God, oh God. And then,
Yes,
of course, I mean, through the news, through the
yes,
media,
yes.
uh,
I was seeing the news the entire time. His name was not there in the news at that time. It was just one major has been shot in Kokarnag. So I knew that my husband is company commander of that area. So I was like, okay, is he that major who has been shot? But his name was not there. So I was keeping my fingers crossed that, okay, it cannot be him. Okay, it's his area, but maybe it's somebody else. You don't want to face this ever in your life. Ours was an arranged marriage, but on the first day of our marriage, my husband told me, that you have to be prepared for this thing. This can happen anytime in our lives, and you have to be mentally prepared. He showed me his I-card, and he was like, straight to my face, this is my first love, you are my second love, and you have to cope up with this. I was like, okay, I'll deal with this, no problem. And when I saw the news that one major has been shot, still I was very confident, Major Shah. I was like, okay, it's just a shot, it's just a bullet, he'll recover. If it is him, he'll recover. I was not that scared. I was like, okay, I'm mentally prepared for this. He'll recover from this. He'll get up and he'll be back in no time. But unfortunately, he couldn't be evacuated.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to hear that, ma'am. Ma'am, you mentioned it was an arranged marriage, and so obviously your families, your parents, and me, Ashish's parents, they did the rishta and everything. Ma'am, how has been your relationship with your in-laws thereafter after that, ma'am?
Words are short. I don't know how to explain this because apparently, they've made a mockery of my husband's martyrdom, which I did not want in the first place. And this is the only reason that I didn't come up in the media or didn't give any interviews, because nobody knows me, nobody knows his parents. It's his name that is coming up every now and then in every article, in every media platform, wherever. So, but when things got way out of hand, and it was just their side that was coming up, that our daughter-in-law has done this, and she's run off with so much amount of money, and she has locked the house and whatnot.
Ma'am,
So
there
I
are certain things which are very, very obvious. We know this
yes,
is all, we all, it's quite evident, it's quite obvious that these are all exaggeration. And let me tell you, let me assure you, ma'am, totally our sympathies and empathies with you. We
thank you,
stand by you, ma'am. We stand by
thank you so much.
you, ma'am.
I really, I'm in desperate need of this, strength, Major Shah, because again, I told you it was my husband before, and it's this thing that I miss about him the most. He used to be everything for me. I used to crib about each and everything. I used to let my emotions go in front of him. We were best friends before anything. And after him, I don't have that bond with anybody. And, just like I said, they've made a mockery of his martyrdom. From the army fraternity, obviously everybody knows what are the rules and what are the regulations, what goes to whom, where is NOK's role, where is his parents' role. From the army fraternity, everything is clear. But when it comes to general public, I don't think they have that much clarity. So then I thought that I should come up and give interview or give at least my side of the story, so that at least people come to know that yeah, parents also get a share. It's not just the so-called wife, as they are portraying, ki wife has gotten everything and army is not taking care of us. It's not that case. Everybody gets a share. You are his parents. How can you be left behind? So I don't
Very,
know, Major Shah, I just don't know how to cope up with this. As I told you, things are really getting out of hand. They are
ma'am,
exaggerating to a point where, logic fails. Logic is
yes.
failing, there is no clarity, there is no, I don't know how to say, I'm speechless by what they're doing. They've got
Ma'am, it's,
properties, they've got bank balances. My father was a government servant before he retired, and they've got each and everything. They've got three daughters who have got two children each of their own. They've got their full families around. Who have I left? Who am I left with now? Just my 3-year-old daughter. And what do I have when it comes to the amount or the cash? As you're telling, I just have the fund which I got after my husband, nothing else. I don't have any savings, I don't have any properties. I just had my husband, Majisha. And now that he's gone, what do I do?
we understand your pain, ma'am. We totally understand your pain. And ma'am, you are brave, ma'am. You are very, very brave, and more power and more respect to you, ma'am. Really. And ma'am, please don't get perturbed by uh, some illogical reports or whatever. Don't get perturbed by that. You have what you said. The army fraternity, they know black and white, what is right, what is wrong. They know the
Yes,
rules, regulations. They know the policies. It's very, very evident. And people who, you know, there's a quote I read today, and in someone's WhatsApp status read, "I don't care what you think about me. I don't think about you at all." So it made sense. It really made sense to me.
that should be the logo of my life, because right now I am caring a lot about everything, because my husband's name is concerned, Major Shah. I do not care about me, because I just don't. It's my husband that I care about the most, even now. I'm so hurt, I'm so disheartened that his name is used in these statements. For what? For money? People have become so shallow that, every emotion, they just don't care about relations or emotions. He was their only son, their only brother. And what are they doing to his name? Is money so important for them? That should not be the case. I am happy with my daughter. I've lost my husband, but I have to live for my daughter, Nijisha. She's everything for me now. So I need
Uh,
that, support, for that financial support. that government job that comes under the policy. That is my, requirement right now. I have my
Uh,
full life ahead of me. My daughter is just 3 years old. What has she seen? She's so young, Major Shah. She does not even know what has happened to her, what has happened to us, what has happened to her family. She still asks me, where is Papa? When will Papa come? Photo देखती है and she's like, Papa, Papa, acting करती है पापा को hug करने के लिए. What do I tell her? It hurts me the most, when I see her face, because I cannot tell her what I'm going through even now. I've lost the only support which I had. My life will never be the same, never ever. But still, people, they just don't care. I have seen that nobody matters. The world has become so cruel now. Nothing matters except money. आप सारे दुनिया के पैसे ले लो, मेजर शाह, सब कुछ आप ले लो, मुझसे, मेरे पास कुछ मत छोड़ो, मेरा हस्बैंड मुझे लाके दे दो. कैन यू डू दैट? Take everything. Take whatever you want. I'll name everything to you. Will you give me my husband back? Will you give Vamika her father back? No, you cannot. So please stop torturing me this way. My life is getting affected as it is. I'm living a hell of a life now. So my daughter's life is getting affected by this.
I can understand, ma'am. Ma'am, your daughter is 3 years old. About time for her to go to nursery school soon. Have you zeroed on to a school where you would be sending her?
Nothing, Major Shah, because everything was dependent on this job. I was to settle in the city where I was about to get posted, but everything has been put on hold as of now because of the applications that they're sending to the government. So that's what I'm telling. My daughter's life is getting affected. We should be in a state now that we should be able to move forward, because we have been in such a mental state in this time that, we have been stuck at a place and we are not able to move forward. This was something that I was looking forward to, because our life is dependent on this. But till now, nothing is finalized. So let's see how it goes now.
So you mean there was a government job which they sent out an application to the government saying not to, but
Yes,
but the policy is very clear that the martyr's wife gets the job, gets the benefit. That's very clear
yes,
about that. The new policy, of course, of the way the parents also get a share. Most certainly, especially Madhya Pradesh government has come up with that, and that's it. But regarding the job, it is the policy about that. I think it's very very clear. So because of that, they've put your thing on hold.
yes.
I'm very sorry to hear that, ma'am. Very, very sorry to hear that.
My mother-in-law wants her daughter to have this job. How logical is this?
But
She has a husband of her own. She has her house. She has her kids. Why does she need this job? This makes no sense at all.
ma'am, did
But
you
still, I
try
have to pay for it.
talking it out? Did you try talking it out with your in-laws? Did you try, because they go into media, you go into media, and then the clash of interest will only it'll make only matters worse, and
Yes, it is.
it will not really help anyone. So my personal suggestion as a brother officer is, why don't you both of you, and you sit on a table and talk amicably and reach to a logical conclusion, ma'am.
Majisha, what they are demanding, I cannot fulfill that. And if their demands are not fulfilled, they are not ready to talk it out. So, what is the solution to this? Their demand is I should give a share of the pension which I'm getting in the name of my husband. I should share it with them. Whereas my father-in-law, he's already getting a pension from the state government. So this makes no sense at all. As I told you, they have properties in their name, they have bank balances, they have a house in which they're living. They have each and everything of their comfort and luxury. Whereas I just have the fun that I got after my husband. That's it.
Right, ma'am. Totally understand your pain. It's totally understand your pain, ma'am. And of course, I mean, for the parents as well, losing a child also would not have been easy. But yes, it is. That's my suggestion. I really wish that something a solution works out, and I wish uh, this stops. I mean, between your in-laws and you, and this misunderstanding or whatever you may call it, misunderstanding or whatever miscommunication or whatever it is, this stops. And I hope amicably both of you maturely reach to a sensible solution to work out things in the best interest, at least if no one else, for the 3-year-old, the poor 3-year-old, the little angel that she is. For that, ma'am,
This
I
pains me the
sincerely.
most, for her. It pains me the most when it comes to her. That nobody, nobody's looking after her in that way, that, she may be getting affected. We should not, let this circus go anymore. And we should, stop this, and we should live a peaceful life. Because as it is, so much tragedy has happened, and we should not let anything else bad happen, and go in a nice way forward. But
Correct, ma'am.
unfortunately, it's not happening.
Correct, ma'am. Correct. And you have to understand their pain, they have to understand your pain. And because tali हमेशा दो हाथ से ही बजती है, ma'am. So one has to actually, when you are trying to work out things, both the parties have to be willing to sit
Bilkul.
down and settle out and resolve issues. Ma'am, I sincerely thank you for your time. It was very, very nice of you and very, very gracious of you to have taken out time. And before we part ways, any last message you would like to throw out in the universe for anyone, for the universe, for army officers' families, for fallen heroes' families, for anyone, basically.
Just, don't take anything for granted, and make time for people. Show them that you care. That's it.
Ma'am, thank you very much. Your words have touched my heart, and I'm sure they've touched many of our viewers' hearts as well. Thank you very much, ma'am. And
Thank you.
love to the 3-year-old angel, ma'am. Take care,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Major Shah. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.